Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. It's Tuesday again.
Happens once a week,
Funny how that happens. Anyway, welcome everybody. Just want to make sure that everybody can see us and hear us before we get into the show.
Yeah.
Chat.
Together we're Knits and Pieces. I'm Kelly. This is my friend
Noelle.
And we are coming to you from southwestern Ontario in Canada. And we are in the midst of this is time for the weekly weather report. So we're in the midst of a polar vortex today. It's very, very cold here by our standards, but it is warm and cozy in the Knit Chat Cafe. So
but I went out for a walk today. I wait till the coldest day of the winter to decide that I'm going to go for a walk. But I have a big heavy coat. I had on my woodland walk mittens, which are double lined.
Yes.
I had on my really warm hat that I made, and I had my Mondeem 100% wool socks on, and I was not cold at all. And
the sun was out,
other than my cheeks. Well, I didn't go till about 4:30.
Yeah, but the sun was out, and that made a big difference.
So nice. Today. It was so nice. It's so much nicer than a gray day. Like I'd much rather have it cold and have it sunny than have those gray, drizzly. Anyway, it was very nice.
Margaret says that she thought I had my hair dyed burgundy. That's the scarf. We're going to talk about that in a second, but excuse me. I wanted to say welcome to everybody. If you're new and you found us, a big welcome. And
welcome.
If you've been here for a while, then you know what to do. Welcome back. If you have a keyboard and you can get in on the chat, it's a very, very, very friendly group. Don't be shy. If you're new, jump right in. And we have no predetermined format here. It is just like going to a coffee shop. It's mad chaos. We don't know what each week is going to bring us, and we're just here for the knitting and the shenanigans.
Yes. So anyway, I just want to say, reading through the comments, there's a lot of people that have snow and cold weather. It seems to be polar opposites. Either it's like snow and freezing cold, or we've got people that saying it's so humid they're having a hard time knitting. And I just want to say, much as we talk about the cold, like for us, we're lucky. We're in nice warm houses. We have the outerwear that we need if we want to go and take a walk. But there's so many things going on all over the world right now. And right now, the flooding in New Zealand, in Auckland, is just horrendous. And I hope. I know we have people from New Zealand that are on here. I hope that everybody is okay. I know that the news had said it's like the worst recorded flood in 100 years. And I know, looking at some of the maps, and as far as I know, our trip's still on, but looking at some of the maps, even some of the roads in the North Island have been washed out. And I mean, where we live, honestly, we are so lucky we have not had to deal with that. And I know people all over the world have to deal with different things. And so for us, if this little bit of cold is the most that we have to deal with, we're pretty lucky. So yes. I just, feel for everybody where there's extremes that are like life-threatening extremes.
Absolutely.
So again, I hope that everybody's okay. And, I hope that it's over soon. I did read today that they were still expecting more rain. So I hope it's over soon. And yeah, hopefully everybody's okay. Yeah, Sharon said it's dreadful. So anyway, hopefully it's over soon and things clear up. Just, you hear about things like this all over the world now, like weather that's just out of control, like things that you never heard about before. And it's scary. So
absolutely. Take care, everybody.
Yes. Take care, everybody. So, okay. So what we usually start with is, I usually go through and I look at the comments from the previous episode and just see if there were any questions or anything that we can kind of help anybody out with. And so last week we were talking about knitting a black sweater. Okay, well, one of our viewers had an amazing idea. She said, knit it in cream and then dye it.
That is a good idea. That really is a good idea.
That's a genius idea. Now, obviously, to do that, I don't know how hard it is to get a pure black dye. That would be the only thing that I'd be worried about.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that was genius idea. So, and then the next thing was somebody asked if we had ever used Coast and Super Soft together in the same sweater. So I only have, just for a tiny bit, I was doing an all over colorwork sweater, and one of the colors, it was all in Super Soft, but one of the colors that I wanted was actually in my Coast. So I used it and it was fine, but it was only like a tiny bit in a whole all over sweater. So I'm not sure about a whole sweater, like interchanging the yarns throughout. So if anybody here has done it, let us know what you think. I actually don't see any reason why you couldn't, because there's lots of sweaters that combine, or lots of yarns that combine cotton and wool.
Mm-hmm.
So you would just, if you combined the two of them, would just have a higher percentage of wool than cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if anybody does it, let us know what you think. And last week we were also talking about stretchy bind offs.
Mm-hmm. We
right?
were.
So one that I was not familiar with is called Lori's Twisty Bind Off. Now I went and looked at it and it looked interesting, and it did show you were supposed to have really good stretch, but not the flare that you sometimes get with
Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off.
Surprising. So it did look really good. I haven't tried it, but I will link it in the show notes. So if anybody wants to try it, they can try it. Because that's the one thing I don't like about the Jennies is even though I know in a sock you don't see it once you put the sock on, I just don't like the look of that flare at the top of your sock. So again, I will link that in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay. Another question was about a jogless join.
Okay.
I'm on a roll. Another question was
you
about
just keep going.
Join.
I've got some too, but you carry on.
Okay. I'll go through mine and then you can go through yours.
Very good. I'm going to collect some new ones as you go.
Okay, so the jogless join, the one that I use is by Helene Magnuson. She is the Icelandic knitter. Once I found that one, it's the only one that I do. It works the best for me. You have to go through and try it for yourself, but I've got a project later on I'll show you that I've done it in, and I really like it. It works the best for me, and I will link that in the show notes as well. Let's see. Another one that I had was about how we wash our socks and the sock soap that we use. So I did make a banner here of, I know, Kelly, you have Tuft Woolens. Yes. And I did have Tuft Woolens. I ran out of it.
Sitting here in front of me, it smells amazing.
But I also had used one by, it's called Woolen and Company.
Yes, you talked about that one before. Banner.
Here it is. Okay, so woolenandco.com and tuftwoolens.com. So the one I'm using right at the moment is Woolen and Co. And the ones Kelly's using right now are Tuft Woolens. So these are two websites, but I do believe that both of these do sell at different yarn stores as well.
Yes.
So if you go to both those websites, they will have a link for where they sell at retail.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know, it might be somewhere close to us. Unfortunately, in Canada, this seems to be a hard commodity to find.
Maybe that's what we should be making instead of more socks. Maybe we should learn how to make sock soap. This is the Tuft Woolens. This is how it comes packaged. It comes in quite a few different scents.
Yep.
I'm not really sure why. It's not as if, I'm not really sure. Why would this come in different scents? Why wouldn't it just come in one nice scent? But anyway, this one is
everybody likes different scents.
I know, but after you've washed the socks and you put them away, it's not like you don't go around smelling your feet. Okay, you just don't.
I can still smell that. And I'm using the woolen right now. I can still smell it on my socks after they're washed.
Well,
so you obviously want it to be a scent that you like.
Yes,
so and some of them do have. I know Woolen and Co. for sure does have an unscented, and I believe Tuft Woolens might too.
Yeah.
If you don't want scent, but I really like scent. So
I make it worth my while because this company is in the US for us, and we have to pay additional shipping to get it into our
and
country.
sometimes duty.
So I do make sure that I make it worthwhile, and I get several bars at a time. And then, I have a couple of years supply. So it doesn't go bad. I do keep it wrapped in the brown paper. This is one that I've probably had for a year and a half and still smells good.
Okay. And we had one comment. We've got like one of our knitters that joins us regularly is a left-handed knitter. And she wondered if there's other people in here that are left-handed knitters, because she finds that sometimes the way you do a technique is a little bit different than if you're right-handed. You're left-handed.
But I knit right-handed.
You knit right-handed.
But I crochet left-handed.
Okay. So if there's anybody in here that would like to be in touch with someone who's a left-handed knitter so that you can discuss things, if you put a comment in after, like not during the chat, but after, I'll see what I can do as far as like getting you together so that there's if you've got, different
we will
ways
hook
that
you up.
Share.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
So.
absolutely.
Okay. So that's all that I had.
Margaret earlier was asking about my rounded toe recipe. So if you go to last week's knit chat video, underneath in the comments, no, where
it's
is
before. Yeah. It's not in the comments. It's underneath the video where it describes the video.
When you click the down arrow, where we have all of the description of what's going on in the show, I typed it out for you. So it's in there. Feel free to use that. Hopefully that works for some of you. Noelle and I both do a rounded toe, but each one is just ever so slightly different. So hopefully it works for you.
And it might depend on, like, Kelly's is a little bit shallower than mine. So what you might want to use, depending on how long the toe is, might depend on if you're doing a pattern sock and where you end that pattern, whether you want a shallower toe or a longer toe to fill out the rest of the length of your sock. So.
Okay. I have a confession to make while we're talking about things we talked about last week. So I tried your fancy purl stitch, and I have to say, the Norwegian purl is life-changing. It is like a little dance.
I told you.
It really is.
It is.
I watched the Arna and Carlos video, so I am now doing the cha-cha-cha purl, as they like to say it. And it's very fluid. I like the hand motion. I'm not fast at it yet by any means. And I also haven't had a lot of opportunity to practice it because I haven't been really doing anything this week that required a purl or color work with a purl. But I'm going to give it to you, Noelle. It's life-changing.
It is. It is. And I did have comments about it, but I also had someone that sent me a link, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to, and it was a Russian purl. So I'm going to try that.
I tried that one too. I did. I tried that one too. I just thought, you know what? I'm into this. I'm going to try all the purls this week, but I really did like that Norwegian purl. Very clever. Very fun too. So just a little something.
It just makes more sense than having to move your yarn back and forth. And
it does. And you can teach us dogs old dogs new tricks. Yes. Sharon says it's great on 9-inch circulars. Yes, that's what I was using to practice.
Yeah. So, but I think like when I'm doing it, I'm not on 9-inch circs, but because I've got one yarn in this hand and I'm purling with this hand in that Shiftigan sweater, then I really need that purl as opposed to having to move my yarn back and forth all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Maria said she's been using it for 60 years.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay. Did we have anything else? I think you covered. I was reading before we came in here too. Lucia is using the Full Moon Fibers Advent calendar to work on a project tonight. And I bet you that's absolutely stunning. And Irene, who's in here with us tonight too, Irene from 3-Ply podcast, she said that she was working on a muscle burra and she was painting her nails. And I came down here early and that's what I was doing, Irene. I threw a coat of shellac on there too, because they were icky tonight. They just didn't look, I didn't like the way my nails looked. So anyway, I threw some color on there too and sat down here to wait for them to dry before the show. So, hey, twin, she says.
Okay. So speaking of Irene just came out with a new pattern.
That was in my later to talk about.
Oh, well, I just brought it up
We
now.
can talk about it. We don't have a
Okay.
schedule.
So here you go. So here's a picture of her new pattern. And I do know that I have a banner for it. It doesn't want to cooperate.
It's called the Row by Row
There
Sampler
we go.
Cowl.
So this is the Row by Row Sampler Cowl by Irene Designs, and this just came out. And I watched the
Yesterday.
podcast today, and apparently I was the one that forced her into making it, which I totally forgot.
That's right, because you
when
made
we
the
were at the meetup.
Yes.
So yes, because I was doing the socks and said, "Oh, this should be a cowl." And look, it should be. It's an amazing cowl.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous.
So if I already picked, I haven't started it, but I have already picked out my yarn for it.
Well, coincidentally, I don't know if this is going to be the best use of or the best pattern for this yarn, but I do have. She suggests using the Malabrigo Dos Tierras, and I happen to have a skein of that. Now, it's variegated, but I love the colors. I love every color in here. Yeah. It's not too bright. I'm hoping that it's not going to overpower the pattern. I don't know.
It's a DK weight, right?
Yes, this is a DK.
So yes. This is what I'm going to use. This is Knitting for Olive. So gorgeous. I'm going to hold the soft silk mohair with the. It's not. It's like a pale rosy pink, and it's super soft. And I think it's going to be.
It's beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous.
So, Jacqueline had gotten me this 2 Christmases ago for a pair of mitts, but I think I'd rather have this cowl.
Well, then that'll be really pretty if we knit these, because then we'll get to see the variation, the
difference between
a solid. Yes.
Yep.
So look at the colors in this. Look at this gold color. I love. It's going to be beautiful.
And I can start that like tomorrow, because I don't even have to roll that yarn. Isn't it amazing how when you first get a yarn winder, you want to wind everything, and then years later you're like, what can I knit that I don't have to wind the yarn?
Yeah. What can I buy that doesn't need to be wound? Exactly. Yes, we will make it before the meetup. And
yes, for sure.
She mentions too that some of the proceeds from the pattern are going towards meetup expenses, which is very kind and generous of Irene.
Yes.
I can't wait to cast it on.
I know.
I love it. I know,
but I've been casting on things, and I'm like,
I was going to cast
things too.
I was going to cast it on last night, but I got no knit time last night. There was just, yes. She says, yes, all monies are going to the event. You are such a kind,
so generous person.
Irene. So generous. And I can't wait to see them all there too.
I know. Well, we get to see some of them at Montreal.
Yes.
So
yes, for sure.
Okay. So we should talk about what we're wearing.
Well, okay. First, we have to say that we did not plan to look exactly like wearing our Sophie scarves and braiding our hair on the same side. I told Noelle when she came on, she goes, "Look, we're twins." And I said, "Noelle, you have to stop trying to be me. You've got to do something original."
And I said, I had this on at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I did not have this on at 8 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, so yes, let's talk about what we're wearing.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sophie scarf.
Sophie scarf. Noelle's is around her neck. Mine's around my head.
Oh,
it's not burgundy hair, as some people. Oh, gosh, I didn't do a very good job on the braid back there. Ignore that part. Did you put anything in here for?
I don't know if I have a pad. I don't think I have a banner in. Oh, I might. I think I have a banner for the Sophie scarf. There we go. So it is a Sophie scarf by Petite Knit. We've done several of them. And again, we're both showing it different ways, because a lot of times the pattern just shows kind of wrapped around in just the one little knot here.
Yes.
So, but Kelly's got hers wrapped in her hair. I've got mine tied just in this little bow off to the side. The pattern is a DK weight. It takes 50 grams or less, and you can kind of adjust it. There's a small size and a larger size. This one I found my yarn was seemed a little bit thicker than a DK. So I just did my increases and decreases less frequently. And then I wanted to use up all the yarn I had left. So I just kind of went till I'd used half my yarn and then started in the other direction. So, and I believe, Kelly, yours is a fingering held double.
Yes, it's this is the coriander yak silk that we got in Kitchener, and the color is berry. I knit mine. This was my first one, so I knit it exactly to pattern. I've modified it since. I find that, I don't know if I can show it up here or not, but this part here is a little wide for my neck. So when I knit my second one, it's okay for my head. I've got thick hair. It's okay to wrap around my head. So when I knit the second one, though, I didn't go to as many stitches. So I ended up with a little bit longer of a shawl, and one that I like around my neck a little bit more.
And I don't think I've ever gone to the full width, because it is quite wide, and especially if you're wrapping it around double. Like, I don't want to be like it to kind of turn over when you're put your neck down or whatever. But so it's easy to adjust, though. It's easy to do in a variety of different yarns. Like the fingering held double, I've done one in the Atenia, which is the Katcha, and I believe it's a cotton, can't remember the rest of it's kind of a fuzzy yarn, but it's got no mohair in it.
Okay.
You've got it. You've got the Atenia. You might even have one there.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't have, no, I don't have one near me, but it doesn't have.
But it doesn't have any mohair in it. So if you're sensitive to mohair, it's a good option.
That's
and
right.
Again, I held that one double, and one skein made a scarf, and I think they're actually 25 gram skeins.
I think so. And I know that it was really reasonably priced. We got ours at Little Red Mitten. I think they were about $12 or $13 a skein. So really, really affordable, a nice little accessory piece. And it's perfect to gift knit, because who wouldn't like one? You can do so many things with it.
Rachel, my daughter-in-law, made one for her grandmother, and she made it she got the coriander 3, and her grandmother just absolutely loves it.
This feels amazing. And I love the
sheen.
The sheen in there. Oh, I should have turned the other way. Don't look at that bad braid. But yeah, it's got a nice little sheen in there, and it's really soft. It's so soft on your skin. So yeah.
Okay, and then my sweater is Western Rose by Tia Coleman, and I do have a picture here so you can see it. So what I had done was, the sweater is made with Estelle Llama worsted, which is 80% merino, 20% llama. And then the color that I've done my Sophie scarf in, and that's the bottom of this sweater, it is Cedarbrook Farms, their Blue Pearl DK blend. So it's actually somehow or other, they've got fiber from pearl that they put into it. So this yarn does really have a nice sheen too. So this sweater is mosaic. So the bottom is on mosaic, and I had 50 grams left, and I thought, well, I could just do like a Sophie scarf with it. And then when I wear it, it gives you a little bit of color up at the top of the sweater, because the sweater is basically just the plain turtleneck at the top. But I loved this pattern. It was so much fun to knit doing the mosaic. And I love this yarn. And this yarn I originally got up at Muskoka Yarns in Bracebridge, but they do carry it now at Little Red Mitten, and it just comes in all like natural colors. So I've actually gotten a couple more sweater quantities in a couple of the grays, and it's really nice yarn. But I would say it's probably a light worsted, like, because it's 250 yards or meters per 100 gram skein. And this is a DK weight sweater, and it worked out fine in it. So I would say it's a little bit lighter than what I would consider worsted, but really like knitting with it. And, it was really nice to have those natural colors and put a pop of color with it. So that's what we're wearing.
It's a pretty sweater.
Okay.
Gina says that yesterday her dog ate part of a 40-year-old Lopi sweater. Oh, gosh.
Oh no.
Oh, yes. Oh no, that's so sad. I hope, is it repairable? I wonder.
I hope so. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's right, Lynn. We love them anyway.
A friend of mine, her dog ate her mattress. I'm thinking, I don't know. If I came home from work and the dog had eaten my mattress, I don't know how much I could still love that dog. That would be, that'd be a lot.
Yep.
That'd be a lot.
So,
all right. Well,
okay.
What do you want to talk about first?
Finishes.
Okay.
I know you finished something.
Okay. Truth telling, I finished something before Noelle this week. This was funny. So this will be, is this week 3 or week 4 of my self-imposed whip a week? I don't know. Let me finish writing. Okay. Not a big finish, but a finish is still a finish.
Hey, a finish is a finish.
A finish is a finish. And I finished the, I have a banner. I thought I did. We have so many banners in here now. Okay, I finished my winter walk mittens by Leanne Lang. She sent us this pattern and I really, really like them. Yeah. So I used the Hedgehog Fibers Aran weight for the outside of the mitten. And then inside, I use the Diamond Luxury Baby Alpaca. So this is a fully...
Is that baby alpaca or baby llama?
Baby llama. Thank you. Baby llama. It was a wee baby of some kind. It's so soft. So this is perfect to have these done now when we're in the middle of our polar vortex. They're super, super cozy, really thick, really dense. And I don't think I'm giving any pattern secrets away here. I'll just show you the double lining. There you go. So you knit your first mitt, and then you attach and you knit your second mitt, ever so slightly smaller.
Yep.
And then you fold it inside. So I love it because, I mean, there's no wind that's getting through this.
No, like today, my hands were not cold at all.
No,
with those
they're
mitts
lovely. On. Absolutely lovely. And I like that you just get this little pop of color up at the top of the cuff. So I cast these on, I think in October. I had one done right away. I had the second one mostly done. And then this was an evening of knitting, but it's now a finish. It is done. It's off my couch because that's where my knitting pile of projects has been living lately. So it's now off the couch, and probably tomorrow will be right onto my hands. So highly recommend this pattern.
Well, you certainly got them finished for a good weather.
I did.
Polar vortex.
Polar vortex. But she has some other designs. So this was the winter walk. There's also a pattern that is very similar, like similar construction, but it had a design down the front. That's the one that you made, I think, right?
Yeah, I made the one with the beads in it.
With the beads. Then there's a men's size as well. So it's quite a versatile pattern. And
and Karen says they would make a great gift. They would make a great gift.
They would.
Yeah.
Well, if you lived anywhere around here, they would for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a good way to use up small bits of yarn. It didn't take that much. I still had left from my hedgehog artifact. I think it was 60. These are 100-gram balls. I think I used about 64 grams. So I still had like a decent amount left over. And then unfortunately, and I said I wouldn't do it because I had to dip into a second ball of this for only 4 grams. So I said that I would have done it in an alternating color because I had another part ball of a different color. Noelle said she was going to pull my mittens inside out and make sure I did the same color. So
I wouldn't have cared.
So I decided, what the heck? You know what? We talked about this a few weeks ago too. Don't hang on to the yarn. Use your yarn.
I know. It's the same thing. Like I was pulling out stuff for something today and I thought, but I should find something that uses all of that. And I thought, no, use it.
I know, but you're right. It is pure baby llama.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is Diamond doesn't make this yarn anymore. So I was sort of holding it. But holding it for what? I don't know. So
but
anyway,
there's always new yarns coming out.
There's always new yarns, but this
always
was
new
so
yarns.
Good. So anyway, that's my finish for the week.
I just want to say in here, Mary had asked if the Norwegian purl, if you could do it if you were an English style knitter. The way I do it is holding the yarn in my left hand. which I believe the Norwegian Pearl that Arne and Carlos do is basically for continental. But Julia did answer her and said that very pink knit, no, Roxanne Richardson. Let me just find the, yes, Julia said that Roxanne Richardson has a video on Norwegian Pearl for English knitters.
Okay.
So that might be something that you might want to check out if you're looking at that. But honestly, give it a try. Even if you're, because the reason that I wanted it was because with color work, I hold two hands. So that's the reason that I wanted it, because my left hand is always continental when I'm doing color work. And when I knit on a 9-inch circ, I always knit continental, even though I'm predominantly an English style knitter. And I use it for that. So if I'm in the rib of a cuff, I would use that continental or that Norwegian Pearl there.
Yes.
Just avoids putting your yarn back and forth. And you do get faster at it. You get into a rhythm with it and you get faster at it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Lynn wanted to know if you knit from the tip up and then carry on. You do not. You actually just knit a regular mitten and then you pick up stitches at the cuff and knit your second one. So by the time when you bind off on your second one, you are actually up here. So I had to just had to Kitchener stitch. I couldn't Finchley. I had to think about that a minute.
Yep.
So you do have to sort of bury your threads inside the mitten for both the thumb and this. But it's a really nice join too. Like it's very neat. And yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, I love mine. So
thank you, Leanne, for sharing that pattern with us.
And they are very warm. Like honestly, for me, they're too warm for the car and a bit bulky. I like
they
something
might be
lighter
bulky
when I've got my
for
hands
the
on
car.
the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But for walking in the cold, they are perfect. And I know a lot of people had mentioned before they're perfect for people that have to take their dogs out. So okay. So I finished a couple of pairs of socks that I was working on. So these are the first ones. These are the DRK everyday socks. I got a picture where you can see it better. So these are the DRK Everyday Socks by Andrea Mowry. And these are done in Prolana Atna, which I got at Wool and Silk in Shelburne. This yarn does have a little bit of like an elastic in it. Not very much, but like I love this yarn. I love how it looks. I loved knitting with it. I love how it fits. I would definitely make more socks. Whoops, they're not the bear paw socks. I would definitely make.
There we go.
I would definitely make more socks in this yarn for sure. So this took 69 grams. So I probably got enough left to maybe do like one of the kids a pair. I don't know if that would be enough left to do a pair of shorties or not, but anyway, I really do like it. Would definitely work with it again. I'm not sure what other colors it comes in, but I kind of like how your background it's like there's a background that kind of fades and then you've got these little lines of all different colors. It's
almost like a bit of a gradient.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
So for anybody who's
go ahead.
Anybody who's not for anybody who's not tried these socks, I know on Instagram I had some comments about, but it's so much purling because you're doing knit 2 purl 2, or so much ribbing, right? Because you're constantly doing knit 2 purl 2, but they fit so well.
They
feel so nice on. Anybody that's done them really likes them. So
I just wanted to point out, I made the socks as well. And Noelle's feet are quite a bit smaller than mine. Like you're a size 6. So you used, how many grams did you say?
I used 69
grams. And I'm a size 8, ladies 8.5. And I use 75 grams. So
I did a pair for one of my sons in fingering, and I used the whole skein.
Yeah.
So it used the whole, so I don't know why, but it does seem like it takes more yarn than what I would normally use in a sock.
Yes, for sure.
But I really like them. I definitely will do more. So
I will too, even though I grumbled the whole time I did them, because it does take a long time. It does.
I actually don't mind it, but I've done a couple of pair. This is the third pair because I did a child's pair a men's pair and this pair, and then I did the bear paw ones, and now it's like, okay, I'm ready to do something else for a while before I do another pair of deer.
But it's a really, really intuitive pattern too. Like once you get into, once you've done the heel once and you know where you're headed with the heel, it was really easy to memorize and just carry on.
Like the heel construction is really, really, it's just really neat the way the rib blends right into the heel. And then you've just got like the one little kind of corner of the stocking stitch for your heel turn.
Yeah, so, very clever.
Yep. So those were finished. And then I finished the Twizzler socks. So these are the Twizzler socks by Tangled Becca. And again, I think I've got a picture here. There we go. Up, down, up, down. So this yarn is called the Marls, and it is by Timber Yarns. It's their twin sock. So this one, this color is available on the website at the moment. So it's got 11 different colors in it. And then the heel, the toe, and just like the very top of the rib on the sock, I did with her 80/20 sock in the licorice colorway. So, but I love the colors in this. I loved working it. The Twizzler sock, I only did the Twizzler pattern for the top half of the sock because it's a slip stitch pattern and it kind of does gather your, like your fabric in a bit. So it's a more cushy fabric up here. And I thought it might be a bit much to have that all in the top of your shoe. So I just did plain. Plus the plain really shows all the colors in the yarn really nicely too.
They're so pretty. So pretty.
I really, really, really like knitting them. So that's my first pair done for Christmas 2023. So that makes me feel good. So
only 14 pairs to go.
No, 15.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. There's an extra one now. That's right.
That's right. So, yeah. Anyway, really like them. So that's it for finishes.
That's it for finishes.
Okay. I might have finished more if I didn't cast on more.
I had so limited knitting time this week. I really didn't get a lot of anything done. I managed to get my finish done though. And after that, I thought, okay, anything after that is a bonus because that's just my own little personal agenda to knock these little outstanding whips off my page. And
but then
it's an immense feeling of satisfaction to have something like that done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, okay. So what else have you been working on?
Well, I have been working along. I did a little bit on my herding cats. So last week I had just, I don't know. I think last week I just had this done.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if you'd started the second one or not yet. I
don't think so.
Showed the yarn.
And then by the time I went to the coffee shop on Saturday, I had these ones done. So this is I do have a banner. Herding Cats is by Stone Knits. And it's an all over cat pattern. There we go. Eventually I'll get it in the screen. So I think, yes, last week I cast this on when I was watching the girls on Full Moon Fibers. They were talking about casting on new things. And after the show was over, I said, that's it. I'm going to go start something brand new. So I had this done. And then I love this one. This one looks a lot like my cat, Roxy, right now. She's a dilute. No, not a dilute. She's a calico. It is a diluted calico, I think. So she's very painterly. Super annoying too. But anyway, so this looks a lot like her coloring. And then I've never had an orange cat, but I've always wanted an orange cat. And then this one, I knit this one in the yarn that we got from Poppy's Pom Pom, which is, oops, that's not the right banner, but it's 40% merino, 60% Samoyed dog. So I knit this one in the dog. And when you hold it sideways, you can see how fluffy. It's really, really fluffy. So Noelle was joking. She said, these aren't really cats. They're either cogs or dats because they're a combination. I've knit cats in dog fiber. And now I've moved on. This one is a little harder to see. It's going to be a gray marl, but it's this one. And this is actually, oops, focus. There we go. This one is actually yak yarn. This was one of my favorite, all-time favorite pairs of socks. out of yak. So I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I think I will have room to do, oh, good catch on that. 2 more cats. So I'm thinking I have a really nice tonal black that I might use. And then I don't know how I'll finish it off. I really kind of like this color. I think that would look good to repeat again, but we'll see. Because I wanted them to be sort of realistic cats, you know, as one does when one's wearing cats on their feet.
You have one cat in dog's clothing.
I know. Cat and dog's clothing. That's clever. And then a yak in cat's clothing.
There you go. No, a cat in yak clothing.
Oh, right. So it's a really fun pattern though. It's I don't know. It's just, I kind of got the bug. I've lost a stitch. I lost my marshmallow and then a stitch. That's what I'm doing here. And there goes my stitch marker. Chaos. I kind of got the bug when I was working on Natalie's Advent socks. I didn't want to stop because I'm doing her Advent socks as a year-long project. And I've taken them off of here. I can't show them again. Where each section of her socks, I can show it here. I thought I still had them here.
Janet wants to know what needle size for the color work.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that. So the pattern calls for 2.5, but there are 70 stitches on here to accommodate. Now, this, you've heard me talk about this before. This is like a very wide part in my foot to go between the heel and my high instep. This goes on no problem, but I know that this is going to be too big for my foot. So after I had done a couple of rows into the dog cat, I dropped back down to my 2.25 needles, and that's how I'm going to finish the sock out for the foot. I still think the foot might be a little loose because 70 stitches, I normally do a sock that's 60 stitches, 64 at most. So the foot may still be a little bit loose, but I don't think it will be unbearably loose. But I really do like doing color work. I really do. So that's kind of, I'm having a lot of fun playing with that. And I try to do, when I pick them up, I try to do one whole cat. And I was getting sleepy last night and I didn't get the little gray cat finished, but I'll finish him tonight and then hopefully at least have one sock to finish or to show for next week.
Jeannie said you should do a Russian blue.
A Russian blue.
I don't know what that is. I'd have to look it up. It must be like a bluey gray.
It's a bluey gray.
Right.
That might be a nice finish too. I'll have to play around with that. I was trying to think. I was debating getting absolutely ridiculous and doing a little bit of overstitching on some of these black cats to add in some white, because my Miss Molly, who passed away last year, Molly is a tuxedo cat, or was a tuxedo cat. So she was black with the white belly and everything. I was debating doing that, and I just thought, no, that's taking things a little too far. So I'm going to end it with this, but
no, it's not.
Kendall wants a pair too. So there might be more cats in the future. Who knows? Okay. And you?
I have 5 whips here. 5. These are 5 current whips. Quips.
Okay.
5 quips.
Quips.
Current whips. Okay. So this is how far I've gotten on my, I have balls falling out of it.
Shift Again.
My Shift Again by Andrea Mowry. So this is done in Juniper Moon Farms, Patagonia. The violet colorway is the background. And then there's 3 colors of the Shopple Wool Edition 3 in the
You
body.
wouldn't know there's 3. They blend so well together.
No, I know. They blend so well together. And it's like, it's not like her version that's kind of more like really popping in color, but I really like this. It's just kind of subtle. I love that goldy color in there.
This is Andrea's version. So it is brighter colors, I guess. Yours are more muted, but I really like yours. And of course, I like the gold pop in there too.
Yeah, I really like it. So I'm hoping I'm going to have this done by next week.
It's beautiful.
So I don't have a whole lot. I think I've got a couple more repeats to do before I get into the ribbing for the bottom and then the sleeves and the steek, but hopefully I'll have that done by next week. So But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And this is the infamous Norwegian pearl sweater.
Yeah.
That's what we should call it instead of shift again. It's a Norwegian pearl sweater.
Yeah. It's turning
And
out beautiful.
again, like that, it's so much easier to do those pearls doing that
Mhm.
Norwegian pearl than having to, I would have had to shift yarns around, and I really wanted that contrast color in my left hand to make it pop. So yeah, anyway, really happy with that. A lot of fun, but there's just so many things that I want to knit and cast on and anyway, okay. And then I have split for the sleeves in, this is my Somerset by Beth McDonald Stone. So this is a test knit. So all of the color work is done. I've split for the sleeves, and this one is done in Holst Garn Super Soft. The main color is Cloudberry, and then my contrast colors are, the green is Calypso, the purple little flowers is Thistledown, the kind of pinky peachy color like that blends in here is Sugar Snap, and then the cream color is just called Ecru. But I love the colors, loved doing the color work, but of course now I'm at all the stocking stitch, so I'm gonna have to like make myself knit I don't want to say it's boring because the sweater's going to be really nice, but when you get to just the stocking stitch, it's like there's no Norwegian pearls in it.
Mm.
So, but I am really liking it. It's turning out really nice. So it was really fun to do the color work in it. So that's 2. The next one is this super sweet little card. This this is the Friday Sweater Baby by Petite Knits. This is a sample that I'm doing for Little Red Mitten. So this is in their Leo and Roxy. Well, it's not for Little Red Mitten. It's for Leo and Roxy. This is in their Leo and Roxy Basics. So the background is classic gray, which we've talked about before. That color just goes with everything.
It's like Frank's hot sauce. You can use it everywhere.
Not everything. That's right. You can use that sucker for everything. Anyway, so the neckband is a folded over neckband, and then the colors in it, like the stripes are just so much fun. So the colors are Cajun Spice, More Mustard, Garden Green, Pacific Point, Majestic, and Cherry Cobbler. And then they repeat in the other direction. It's so cute. It's so much fun. And this is the sweater that I'm doing the jogless join in.
Yes.
So
yes.
Okay. So there's my side seam where I'm joining the colors. And I mean, I haven't even sewn in ends or tightened it up or anything yet. So I think that join looks
pretty good.
Like pretty
good. Pretty good.
I'm pretty, like I said, it's the one that I use most of the time. I find it works the best for me. And like there it is up in along this raglan seam too. And I think it blends in. I think it really helps to put the colors in, because I know some just do a plain slip stitch, but then you can kind of see the elongated stitches.
Yes.
Whereas this one is, you get to the end of the round, and then that last stitch, you put it back on your needle and you knit it or purl it again, but in your new color.
Yes.
And then you get around to the end of that round, you actually pick up where you've wrapped that stitch with the new color, and you knit it together with the original color. So you're knitting the two together. It's explained much better in the link that I'll put in the show notes, but I really find it's the best one that I've found, that I find really helps to blend that color change in. Mm-hmm. So again, hopefully I'll have that one done by next week too. Maybe, who knows? I might cast on a bunch of other things.
Well, I did get one of my sleeves finished on my sweater too. I didn't show it again because I've shown it quite a few times, but I did finish the sleeve. So now I'm ever so much closer to getting that one finished too. So I don't know if I'll have it finished by next week or not, but soon, pretty soon.
Which one is that?
My Cozy Classic Raglan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else that?
I have been working on stuff, but it's not knitting. So we were at the coffee. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
When we were at the coffee shop last week, I had mentioned that Fabricland was having
Oh,
yet another sale. And I shouldn't have gone, but I did. And I've had it in my mind. I have a winter coat that I wear. And my winter coat is pretty much this color. This color. It's like a gold color. And I love that coat. I wear that coat all the time. And I love winter coats that give you a pop of color, because often, you know, the colors that we wear are more muted in the winter. So I like to have a coat that makes a statement. And it's been sort of a plan of mine to make a coat, and I've never actually made a coat. So I thought this might be a fun time. And I knew that they had some really nice winter weight fabric to make a coat. So I decided to go. And so this is the pattern that I have, and I've started the first coat, that's keyword. And it's this one right here. So it's with the lapels that are actually facing in. And I like just this basic sort of unstructured coat because I wear a lot of jeans, and it's the length I like. So I bought this color of fabric, this bright royal blue, which I love. I just love the vibrance of this blue. So that coat is good to be started sewing. I've got it all cut out. I've got the interfacing on there. I'm ready to start. So that was coat one. But the sale was really good. And I couldn't leave there without buying the same amount of fabric for coat number 2. Look at this one. It's not even showing up as nice as it is, but it's such a beautiful, I don't know, what color pink would this even be? It's just like this amazing pink. And I love this color as well. I just love how bright it is. So that's some whips for me this week, is getting the coats worked on. We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Okay, so I casted on some new socks. So these are the Let's Stay Home socks by Nancy Wheeler. I know I have a. Find the,
I'll look. Go ahead.
Can you look? Okay, I can't even see. Honestly, my my eyesight is so bad. I need my other pair of second glasses on top of the first glasses. I know. Anyway, so this is the Let's Stay Home socks by Nancy Wheeler. This is my second pair of Christmas socks for 2023. This is Timber Yarn's Marled sock. She is going to be releasing these socks over the course of the next while. So this color is called Peacock Blue Marl, and I just love how it looks. I love knitting with it. And again, I started this with the black licorice, or the licorice on the cuff. I'm going to do the heels and the toes and the licorice. And
are you going to do the licorice on every sock? Is that going to be a continuing theme?
I don't know yet.
Too?
I don't know. I might do it on the men's socks, and then I might go to a cream for the women's socks.
Okay, nice.
Maybe.
Nice.
I don't know. I haven't decided for sure yet. But yeah, I really, it's just like, I don't know. And this, you can see the pattern in here. The pattern's really.
You have to put it in front of your face, unfortunately.
In front of my face, like this.
There, yeah, like that. Just to get the camera, because the camera wants to focus on our face. So
okay.
you have to
so
block
anyway,
your face.
really like the stitch, and then the back of it is just like the plain. So I really like how the marled works up just in the stocking stitch too. I did a twisted rib cuff, and really enjoying knitting those. So
that yarn is so soft.
They're done so that I can get to my next color.
When I knit mine, the Sooty Santa ones, I didn't want to put them down. It was like the socks were knitting themselves.
What it is. Like I just don't want to put them down.
Yeah.
And then because we're having this polar vortex, I decided I needed some other socks. And I can't remember what podcast I was watching, but I was watching a podcast, and they did socks in Let Lopey. And Let Lopey is not a soft yarn.
No, it's not.
But supposedly it gets softer and softer as you work it. And actually, even working it does feel a little softer. So these are the acorn socks. I'm going to put up in front of my face. These are the acorn socks by Tin Can Knits. And I am doing them in Let Lopey in Fjord Blue. And the pattern goes like it's got infant, baby, child, and then adult, small, medium, and large. I am actually doing somewhere in between the child large and the adult small. Because when adult, small, medium, and large, if they're adult, small, medium, and large, and it's like men, sometimes the small's a little bit too big for me. So this is actually working out. I just modified it a bit, and I'm doing kind of like a size in between. And I'll let you know after I wear them, but I'm hoping to have these done by Friday so that on the coldest day that we've had so far, I will have these socks to put on.
Maureen says that she has knit socks with Let Lopey and she loves them.
Like today I've got
I feel like they're going to be really slippery too. You'll have to watch out on hardwood floors.
Yeah, but inside I'd have my slippers on top of them.
Yeah.
And now they're a little thicker because the Let Lopey is like about a worsted to an Aran weight.
Yes.
So, but they'll be fine inside my boots.
Yes.
So
they look so cozy.
And I mean, I really like the look of it. It actually felt rougher in the ball. Like as I knit it, it is starting to.
I have some of that yarn, and I've been putting off using it because I feel like it's that.
Like I would much rather knit this.
Oh yeah.
But I think these are going to be practical, and they do knit up faster because I'm on a 4.5 millimeter needle, and these are on a 2.25 millimeter needle.
Yes.
So,
they look really
but I tried it on so far, and it doesn't feel bad. It didn't feel like I couldn't wear it on my feet. So, and I think they'd make really good mitts too. I think the yarn would be really good for mitts because you get that. It's all the guard hairs that are in the Icelandic sheep.
Yes.
That really makes the fabric weatherproof.
Yes.
So. Yep. So who knows? I've got more of this yarn in gray. And this yarn was actually right from Iceland. One of my son's good friends went to Iceland for their honeymoon, and they brought me back some yarn. So they brought me back some Let Lopey. So that makes it special too. So I've got enough actually to make 2 pairs.
Okay, I'm not sure what that says about the honeymoon. Like if people are leaving their honeymoon plans to go and buy a friend some yarn, I don't know what that says about the honeymoon.
Maybe it says I'm a good friend, Kelly.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Goodness.
Anyway, I was very happy to have the yarn, and I am, and I have knit with Let Lopey like years and years and years ago, and then I was going to use some for a Beth McDonald stone pullover, but I actually liked the colors that I had in Holstgarn better to put together. But yeah, I think I did a sweater in it before, and I think when I did sweaters years and years ago, like I'm talking 25, 30 years ago, I didn't block them the way I block them now. And so if I put a sweater like that on and hadn't blocked it, I would have probably went, yeah, this is like way too itchy. I'm not wearing this. But now I realize the difference that blocking can make. So
I know I'm anxious to block these and see what these are going to look like blocked. I know they'll look a lot better, but yeah.
Now Susan says she's used Plutalopi for mittens, and she really likes that. And I actually, did I see someone was knitting like socks out of Nutidin?
Vonda.
Oh, she's going to do socks out of it?
She's going to do socks.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'd be interested to see how that works out, because I do have some Plutalopi, and I've got some other unspun yarn that, yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to have those kind of socks for going out. Like today, honestly, I was glad I had my 100% wool socks on going out for a walk. So
Gail says, speaking of slippers, she purchased a pair of the Clark slippers. I've got mine on tonight too. I love these slippers. They're so cozy, and I love that little knitted cuff on them too. They have nice grippy soles. You can wear them all over the house. You don't have to worry about sliding down my wood stairs when I have socks on.
I take mine off. These are the slippers that I wear all the time.
Your felted ones, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got a sticker on it.
Is that a banana?
I
Do you have a banana sticker?
It's some kind of produce sticker.
Well, I guess you've had your fruit today then.
Anyway, these are glare-ups, and this is, I love these. I live in these. I wear them in the summertime too, because the felted wool, like I don't find if I've got my bare feet in them in the summer, like it doesn't make my feet overly hot. And I can't stand to walk around in my bare feet. Like
No, I
I
can't
have bad
either.
feet from all the abuse that I've given them over the years. And I just can't stand to walk around in my bare feet. So I wear those and they're nice and cozy in the winter. And yeah, but I like yours too.
They're cute.
But I've just had the best luck with the fit on my feet because I have bunions and need surgery. That I find that these ones work the best, and they kind of shape to the form of your foot after you've worn them for a while.
Yeah.
So
Sarah wants to know, where did you buy those? Do you remember the glare ups?
Directly from glareups.either.ca or .com. Okay. So I'll put the website in the show notes.
Sarah was wondering about the fabric that I bought. I cannot remember the content of the fabric. I think it was the cashmere winter coating though. So it's not like overly heavy. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with my machine at all, but they had 2 big racks, lots of colors. They had a beautiful mustard color, but I'm thinking I already have a mustard coat. So I quickly looked away from the mustard, but my eyes have been on that royal blue all winter. And then when I saw the pink, it's like that beautiful raspberry, I thought, yeah, you have to be mine too. And it was such a good price, such a good price. So I think the whole coat is going to cost me under $40. Well,
that's
a
good.
steal. It's a steal. Yeah. Okay.
So did you buy anything?
I didn't buy anything yet. Firstly, I was gifted something at the coffee shop. Our friend Heather, who is a Finch's Nest, and Heather has a podcast as well called A Finch's Nest. And she is a beautiful knitter. And she is also a very talented sewist as well. And so she meets us for coffee on Saturdays as well. And she had this yarn. I thought she had one skein, and she said she had ordered it and she wasn't happy with the color. It's Rowan pure wool worsted. And it's like an army green. And she says, would you use anything like that for Miles? Heck yeah, I would. So she said, okay. And I thought, well, it'd be a cute hat and some mitts or something. And then she hands me a bag. She had a whole bag of this yarn. So I was very fortunate to have scored a bag of this beautiful Rowan worsted pure wool yarn. It's very, very soft, very soft. So I started looking for some things that I might make with that. And I just put in a couple of pictures of little sweaters. This was the first one that I found that I thought would be really fitting. This is the Ridgeline sweater by Jessica McDonald. And I think it is such a cute little sweater. And I think that the solid color would work nicely with the army green. I think it would show up well, the little bit of pattern. And then the second one that I found, I also really liked this one as a contender, is the Little Hootlet.
Oh, it's got a little owl. Yeah.
Yes, by Taga Hilliard. And I think it's cute. I love the little, I don't know, what do you call that? It's kind of like a tunic style sweater. It's got that little detail at the neck. I think that that's kind of conducive to the way Kendall likes to style Miles. She likes him in little oversized sweaters and shirts, and she puts on leggings or pants. And so I think the little tunic style would be really cute. And Kendall also loves owls. So I think that would speak to it. And I think that would show up really well as well. And then lastly, I found this sweater. This is not for this yarn, but I found this sweater and I fell in love with it. Look at how cute this is. This is the Cafe Latte sweater by Chi. Hold on a moment. Mia. Oh, shoot. I can't see the entire banner, so I can't see what I've written. I think it's Maya Yama. I'm sorry. I can't see the entire wording, so I don't know. But I think it's really cute. And it's affected by using the colors. So you start out with, both of your solid colors and you're adding one thread in, and then you create this marl all the way down until you get, Miyagawa. I can see it on the picture now. So I think that would be a really cute sweater for future knitting. I just found that while I was looking, and I really, really did like it. And I thought it was.
It looks like a child's version of the City Limits by Tanis Lavely, because that's kind of how that one went.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the way you combine your, you probably start off with 2 strands of white, and then you've got a strand of white and gray.
Yes.
But she must have 2 grays there too.
She does. She has a light
A
gray
light
and
gray and a dark
gray.
gray. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think that would be a really fun, it would keep your interest just to do the marling, if nothing else, because it is a very basic sweater, but I really liked them. So that is what I was looking at for that. Oh, and we've got some suggestions. Elaine says the Fraser sweater by Danny Sunshine. So I'll add that to my list to have a look at.
So Heather also was going through her stash and she actually brought this for me.
Oh, very pretty.
So this is a braid. This is, it's silk merino fiber. It's by Hedgehog Fibers. There is 115 grams here. And it is 50% silk, 50% merino. And it feels like amazing. And you can't even see all the colors in it. But when you go in and like you kind of pull it apart, like look at those pops of the pink that's in there and like lighter colors underneath. So it's gorgeous. So I just need more time. Look at the gold and stuff that's in there.
So pretty.
That you can't even see it all till you pull it out. And yeah, so looking forward to spinning that up. So thanks, Heather. I can't remember how she told me she ended up with it, with a skein of, or a braid of fiber, because she doesn't spin. I'll have to ask her again how she ended up with this. But I think she just liked the colors. And I mean, it is gorgeous. So I told her, I said, when I spin this up, like there'll be about 60 grams each. I'll just split it and she can have half and I'll have half. And that's enough for the yoke in a sweater.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's beautiful. That reminds me, somebody was kind enough last week to let me know about a yarn from Knit Picks. And it is, okay, back it up, Kelly. Let everybody know what you're talking about. So if you see behind my head right there, that cone is Slow by Holst. And it's one of my favorite colors that Holst makes. And we know how I like to pair my Super Soft or my Coast with a strand of the Titicaca. They make nothing else that will pair with that color. Slow is a standalone. So I was very lucky to have somebody reach out to me last week and let me know that on Knit Picks, there is an alpaca lace yarn that they sell, and so, which is very similar to the Titicaca. And the colorway is called Oscar. And it is a very good match. So after last week's show, I went on, I looked, she's not wrong. It's a very good match. And I think it is 50-gram balls for $8.49, which is pretty comparable to the sizing of the Titicaca. So when we talk about, did I buy anything? I didn't buy anything yet, because I was just going to sit on that, because I've also got, to go with the Slow, I've got, I can't do this backwards, but there we go. This one here. The
Full Moon Fibers.
The Full Moon Fibers to go with the Slow. And I have this to do a yoked sweater, but this is a fingering, but it's a thicker fingering. So I know that I can just intersperse it with this, as long as I have something else to pair with the Super Soft, because it's quite a bit thicker than the Super Soft. And it's called I'm a Wild Flower. And I love this colorway. And I also have the same colorway on the actual sock yarn as well. So I could have a sweater and a matching pair of socks. And I have waited for a long time to find something to pair that Slow with, to go with this yarn. So now I'm going to order some Oscar. First, I'm going to choose my pattern, order some Oscar. I'll probably just need 2. But Knit Picks is also having a sale. And so that's the other thing I want to talk about.
I don't need to know that.
I know. It's going to be a small order. Don't worry. They have brought back a yarn that I have used before. And I know I've had people ask about this yarn, so I wanted to bring it up. I used static, because it's a unique striping pattern. You get these sort of really variegated micro striping paired with this little thick section of yarn. They're not bringing this color back, but they do have a whole new series of colors. And I use this to make my Musselburgh hat. I wear this hat all the time. And I had 3 skeins of the static, and I've already made another skein of the static into socks, and they are some of my most favorite socks. They're very similar in color to this.
Mhm.
So they have brought the static back. It's very reasonably priced. Now I am quoting this in US dollars, but it's $13.99 for a 100-gram skein. And they have their range of colors this time. They're all based on like 70s shows. So they're kind of
Okay.
really cool. And there's a skein in there called Squiggy from the Laverne and Shirley.
Okay.
And
Yep.
by the way, Shirley passed away today. I don't know if anybody else knew about that.
I didn't know that.
How fun were they to watch, right? I watched them for years as a little girl, and I was just so, I loved their friendship, and I loved the little shenanigans they got into, and they were just an amazing pair of girls. So anyway, Static is back. One of them is Squiggy, and Squiggy was one of their cousins, I think, wasn't he? Wasn't he Shirley's cousin? And anyway, it's a variegated yellow that I really, really like. And there are a few other colors that I really like. So I may or may not, I will. I'm going to get a couple of static. The last thing that I wanted to mention about the Knit Pick sale, they have something else on there that I thought was really a good bargain. They have, if you're familiar with their Felici colorways that they bring out, and those are limited edition colors as well. And I only have the fingering weight Felicis, and I've made many pairs of socks in them. So they're self-striping, but they also have a worsted Felici, and they are clearing out some colors for the worsted weight for $5 a skein. And I'm thinking these would make fantastic hats and mittens for Miles. It's a superwash 75-25. So if it does end up in the laundry, you don't have to worry too much about it. And I thought for $5, how can I go wrong? There's some really fun colors in there. So yeah, I'm going to order. I am for $5. So don't everybody jump in there and grab all my my worsted skeins on me. But that's I think that's really good value, and it's great yarn for kid knits. So that's where I'm headed. Maybe tonight.
Okay. Well, I have another child knit that I have to cast on. I'm doing a test knit for Forest City Knit Girls for a little hat pattern. So I don't have the pattern, but I'll show you the yarn that I chose. It's a color work pattern. So, and it's a fingering held double and a mohair. So, and you can see my fingering
glitter.
has Stellina. Yep. So that's going to be for the one color. So this yarn is Shellridge Farms. There's a yarn with glitter. And then this is Drops Kid Silk. And then the other color is this one. And again, I don't know if you can see, but it's got, can't see this one as well, but it's got Stellina in as well. And then with that,
oh, so pretty.
Kid Silk.
So pretty.
So I think that's going to look really, really cute. So I might be able to show you some of that next week. So,
okay.
So I got a lot of work to do between now and next week.
I did get something else in the mail this week, and it's not yarn, but it is yarn related. We have been talking about needle grips for tightening up your interchangeable sets, or for unscrewing them to get a better grip. And I had mentioned that I had ordered some from, or I was going to order some from Acme Fibers, which is where I like to buy needles. She has very reasonably priced needles. So I got some Haya. For me, the stainless steel Hayas are my best tip. They are the least likely to puncture my fingers because they're not a super pointy tip, and they're very comfortable. And I like to use the 9-inch circulars. So I got an extra pair of those. Her prices are reasonable. And in Canada, she ships these to us just in a little padded envelope. So we're just paying letter mail. So about $2.15. And she also had the little packages of the Haya needle grips. So I ordered those. And I think on the website they were blue, which is fine. But when they came in the mail, I just wanted to show this. They're a beautiful bright pink. Look at those. How pretty are they? These were on sale for $1.50. So that is fantastic value. I like anything that I can get for $1.50. So I ordered some of those in as well. That's it
And
for the needle.
I actually ordered some stuff
You
from
ordered
Acme
some
too. I
needles.
haven't got it yet, but it seems like lately everything that I'm knitting is on 3mm needles. And I like the 4-inch tips, especially if I'm doing like a baby thing, because like the 5-inch is just too long. And the Chai Goose sets that I've got, 3mm is not, they go 2.75 and then they jump to a 3.25.
Yes.
So there's no 3mm, and I've got one set, but it seems like everything's on it. And that's why my burra cowl is not in the works right at the moment, because my 3mm needles are on my little Friday baby cardigan or baby sweater. So those should be coming to me soon with another couple of cords, because it seems like I never have enough of the smaller cords.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also had the Lickin needle. So I got a Lickin needle to take on the plane for New Zealand.
Yes.
So
yes.
the wood ones, and Kelly's going to lend me her other ones too, so that, because I had a long trip, I need more than one pair of socks on that plane ride.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah. Okay. So we should probably talk about our
we're running so far behind tonight. Our Makealongs.
Makealongs. Okay. So, I should tell Isabel I have set up the threads on Ravelry for the Marie Wallen / Susan Crawford knit along, or the Burra Cowl knit along. I have set that up. So finally, so that's all in Ravelry. So that's one of our first ones that we've got going on. And for that cowl, and now I got cowl on the mind. For that make along, you just have to knit. You can knit the Burra Cowl. That's how it originally started out. Or for us, for our podcast, you can do any Marie Wallen pattern or any Susan Crawford pattern. And it's going to run from beginning of January until the end of December. So.
Okay, I will do
if you're involved, I should just mention the other podcasts. There are other podcasts that are doing this. We kind of talked about this last year at the mini meetup, the Frivolous and Frugal / 3-ply podcast mini meetup. And we decided to do this cowl with all these different groups. So also participating are 3-ply podcast, Around the Table Yarns, Dude Knits, Frivolous and Frugal, Got Whips, Magpie's Cottage, Pandemic Knitter, and PJ Knits. And there's also, there were, I don't know if there still are, at Around the Table Yarn, she had put together some yarn kits specifically for the Burra Cowl. So you can go to their podcast and check out what their particular criteria are. May not be the same as ours. Some are just going with the Burra Cowl. But you can definitely, if you do a Burra Cowl for ours, you can definitely enter it in the other podcasts as well.
Yes.
So
I'll talk about socks because I think I know that one. So
okay.
We are hosting again our year-long sock along, and make your socks. It doesn't matter when you started them. If you started them last year or the year before that or 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. Finish them this year. You can enter them in, and we draw 2 prizes each month. And today's the 31st. So
I know
we'll be drawing prizes tomorrow. So you have until midnight tonight. Technically, you have until the clock tells us that an entry is no longer on the 31st.
So it could be 5 o'clock in the morning when I close it. Or
that's right.
Kelly might close it before she goes to bed today.
Too. Yes. So finish your socks, put them in on our Ravelry. There are already 233 pairs that were finished so far this month in January. We draw 2 prizes. The first one is a pattern prize from our friend Natalie of Remembrances Pottery. And then we draw a yarn prize as well. And we do that each month. So next week, we'll be announcing the winner of that. And if you feel so inclined, you can also add your entry under hashtag KNP Sockalong 2023. Yep. And we'll find that on Instagram, and which is where we're actually probably most active between the two of us is on there.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then the other cowl that we have going is our Smash That Stash. So we decided to do that this year because, well, we've done it before, but we know that we're probably in the same position as a lot of people are, that you have a lot of beautiful yarn in your stash.
This is the year to use it.
Yes. Well, any year is the year to use it. It's just like, use it. It brought get more joy out of it again. It brought you joy when you found it. It brought you joy when you bought it. Now it can bring you joy when you're knitting it, and then you can have joy either wearing it or gifting it.
Yes, absolutely.
all the phases. So we want you to, and again, it's not just knitting. You can crochet. If you are a spinner, you can spin some of that fiber that you've got in your stash. And yeah, just this one runs from January 1st until December 31st. We are going to draw prizes in each quarter. Each quarter is going to be separate though, because we want you to keep using things out of your stash, not just, like, so do something in the first quarter, something in the second quarter, something in the third, or 10 things in the first, 10 things in the second.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As many as you want, just get in there and use that stash. So your stash that you're using has to have been in your stash before January 1st, 2023.
Yes. And it has to be at least 50 grams used in the project. Yes. Yep.
So, and so like the end of each quarter, we'll be drawing prize for that.
Yes. So. And you can triple dip.
You can triple dip.
You can use stash in
a Marie Wallen socks.
You could use, yes, you could use your stash in a pair of Marie Wallen socks and put those into the socks and the stash and the Marie Wallen.
And the Marie Wallen.
So you would be triple dipping. Other than that, you can feel free to double dip because you can use stash in your Marie Wallen or stash in your socks and enter it in both places. And there are already 275 finished stash items in there in 1 month.
It's only January. So
that's right. How good are you going to feel by the end of the year when you've gotten all of that stash knit up? It's going to feel so good.
Okay, this was stash. My Let Lopey, that was stash.
Yeah.
And this to go in to do this little pattern is stash. And the stuff I picked out for Irene's cowl is stash. And the other things are my summer set is stash. And then my other things are samples for Little Red Mitten. And my timber yarn sock was not in my stash 2022, but it's a year-long project that I had thought about before.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Sharon is wondering if the whole sock yarn would be good for the Marie Wallen color work. It is pure Highland wool. No, it's not. It's
80-20.
Is it 80-20?
I think it's got some nylon in it. And I think it's superwash.
Oh, it is. It is superwash. Yes. Superwash and 20% nylon. So I wouldn't really recommend it.
There's nothing to say that you can't use a superwash yarn in color work. It's just going to give you a different look. When you've got the more toothy yarns, like the Holskarn, or I believe Marie Wallen's calls for Her British Breeds or for Shetland Spindrift, you get that grippier yarn. So you get a little bit different look. When you've got a smoother yarn, like a superwash sock yarn, you can still do the color work, but you're going to get like a more defined look, like a crisper look. Yes. The colors aren't going to kind of blend the same way that a toothier yarn will. But there's nothing to say that you can't use it.
You can see the difference.
That's right, because that's right.
These are all sock yarns, right? So you can see how like sharply defined this is. Whereas even when you get into something like this, that even though it's dog hair, you can see how it blends into the fabric more. And if you're doing color work that's not a sock yarn, the fibers of that yarn, they are definitely going to meld together a little bit. Just a softer look, I guess. And then the other concern is, depending on what it is that you're making for your Marie Wallen project, bear in mind that the superwash has that potential to stretch out. So if it's a garment and you want it to fit a particular way, you would have to be mindful that could happen. So,
but if you were doing a cowl,
it would be fine.
Okay,
if you're doing, it doesn't matter. Like, even if you're doing a hat, I'm sure that's fine. I mean, I make hats in superwash all the time. So just, and it is, mindful.
You are doing it. Yeah. Most of the color work patterns are on, like, if you look at a lot of Marie Wallen's patterns, they are on like a 3mm needle or a 3¼ needle. And I find when you're knitting at a tighter gauge like that, a lot of times your superwash will hold together better, but it does still have the potential to stretch more than like 100% non-superwash yarn.
Yes. So, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. So we should say goodbye.
We're running really late. We're at like an Hour and 24 minutes. My gosh,
I know.
that's a long night.
So
Fuller Life with Stitches. Yes, we know about the rubber bands from the broccoli
yeah,
for your needle grips.
great idea. Great
Noelle's
idea.
been using her
So
rubber band
I
like
have
a
been
fiend.
using it. So
yeah, that's a great idea.
And that's actually would be like if it was somewhere where I did have to change needle sizes a lot, you can even put a rubber band around your hand and then it's always there.
That's right. Yeah.
And you might not lose it like I lose other things in my couch.
It eats needles. It eats
stitch
markers.
It eats stitch markers like crazy.
Yes, it does. Yes.
So.
Brenda was mentioning as well. Yes, we are going to put a link to the directions for the jogless stripe.
Yes. Yeah. The jogless stripe. There was a couple of other things too. The Lori's twisty bind off.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. The Russian pearl and the Norwegian pearl.
So check back tomorrow for all of that, Brenda. If you don't
it'll
mind,
be late. It'll be probably around supper time tomorrow, and all the show notes will be up.
Yes, so I will go in tonight, and I put the timestamps in for anything that we talked about tonight, and I will do that. But Noelle does the show notes the next day. Yeah. Okay, so don't forget to check back. If you aren't already subscribed, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, that would be wonderful if you did. And then don't forget to click the little bell, because then you'll get notifications about what time we start each week, or if we have a new episode, because we intersperse these weekly ones with regular episodes as well. And then you will be notified when we've got something new on the channel. And while you're at it, if you just reach below when you sign off tonight and hit the thumbs up, that is a huge, that's a huge help for us as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to thank everybody for joining us. We love coming to the Knit Chat Cafe every Tuesday night. We have 2 more weeks before New Zealand, and then there might be a couple of episodes that come right from New Zealand, and I will be visiting you from the future.
That's right, because you'll be into the next day. Absolutely.
That's right. So that's going to seem weird, but anyway, we'll figure that out when we get there. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us, for chatting, for helping each other out in the chat. It's so nice to see all the interaction going on in there. And have a great week.
Stay safe. And happy
warm
knitting.
And dry and cool, depending on where you are.
Yes, all of those things. And happy knitting.
Yeah, happy knitting. Bye.
Bye.